Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about some of the top meta arena defenses you can run for the regular arena, and of course these teams will work on offense as well. However, the important thing about arena is that you want to use your most upgraded heroes, and you will have to make some mix and matches, even though I put together like 10 different teams, so hopefully you will be able to get a good idea of what to work with your options. But basically there's always going to be a bit of testing, a bit of trial and error, and then also using your most upgraded heroes. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. Now, I have used this Arena 4 map because I think the Arena 4 map is pretty good. It is good. It's like you can position it in a way that you're not going to be susceptible to rainier position swaps, which is kind of one of just the important things you want to think about when you're making an arena defense. Okay, so the first team I have here is going to be the most kind of budget team, using heroes which are kind of priorities for you to be getting right as soon as you start up basically playing AFK Journey. So this is a good concept of a team because it has twins with the Stellar Bond buffing up Daimon and Shemira. Daimon is also further going to buff up Shemira, so you're going to have some energy recovery from the twin Stellar Bond, some attack boost and also defensive boost for both Shemira and Daimon. Daimon is going to act as a bit of a tank, and if you have Daimon Mythic Plus or above, then he can also frighten enemies when he takes a certain amount of damage. You have Bonnie in the back who's going to debuff the enemies, and that's really good with Shemira. And then you also have Ludovic who's going to immediately be healing Shemira and the blue trim right from the beginning to basically increase their survival. So this is a very core and a solid team that you can run. It isn't going to be the strongest, but it is a really good option for like early game players when you don't have many other heroes built. And like overall it can do well. It can beat even meta teams, as long as, like, because you have a lot of basically survival with the Ludovic. You have the buffing, you have the protection of Shemira. Shemira just needs to get off an ultimate and then you're going to be in pretty good shape. And the twins have the boosted energy, so they're going to take an ultimate first. And so if the enemy has a Lily May will interrupt the twins and your Shemira will be free to get their ultimate off. This is an important strategy you want to think about when making a regular arena defense. You have to always think about if the opponent runs Lily May, because more often than not, they are going to be using Lily May to counter your heavy ultimate dependent comp. So there we have it. And with Confining Spell. Confining Spell is the best artifact for almost all of the regular arena defense teams. You're going to see that used a lot. It just has the most value as the match goes on longer. Okay, next up we have a Pandora and Tasi team. So Pandora Tasi is a good option for a team if you have your Tasi upgraded, and we're running Iron here too, not necessarily even to group up the enemies, but more importantly to take the enemy Lily May interruption, because if you're running a Pandora comp, after 4 seconds of the match, that hero is going to come out of the box. Tasi will come out of the box, immediately casting her ultimate. However, the thing is, if you don't have anyone to take an ultimate prior to that, she's just going to get interrupted by enemy Lily May. So you have to have some hero who's going to instant cast ult or really rapidly cast their ultimate to basically take the enemy Lily May interruption to allow your Pandora buffed hero to immediately cast ultimate. That's why we have Iron here. Also, Iron can act as a decent tank. If the opponent doesn't run Lily May, you just get more crowd control and basically buying more time for your Tasi to come out of the box and just jump on the entire enemy team all grouped up together. You have Almas, who's a really good wilder tank, and also he synergizes with Iron to prolong the duration of crowd control. And then we have Lily May as well, just because I made it like kind of an all wilder team plus Pandora. Lily May is obviously strong in regular arena. She can deny an enemy ultimate. That is really important. So if the enemy runs like a Pandora team of their own, Lily May will interrupt them. So they'll also have to go for a similar strategy of taking that Lily May interruption. So Lily May is always solid on regular arena defense. If you're like, if you have 4 heroes lined up on a team and you don't know who is the best 5th option to run, Lily May is always solid, can work in basically any team. So there we have it. Pandora Tasi. Now, Pandora Shemira is probably stronger. This team is going to be overall stronger. You might look at it and be like, well, isn't Pandora going to put herself in the box? Well, Pandora doesn't put herself in the box. She will put the rearmost ally other than herself in the box, and in this position the rearmost is going to be Shemira. So Shemira is going to be the hero put into the box from this position. Now look at the team. We have Ludovic to immediately heal the Nero and the Pandora to protect Pandora so she doesn't get killed quickly, because the other thing about these Pandora comps, for the 4 seconds of allies in the box, if Pandora dies, the ally will come out of the box ineffective. Basically, they will not have that boosted energy and you're going to lose the fight. So you need Pandora to survive for at least 4 to 5 seconds to have that hero unbox and then get off their ultimate. That's why Ludovic healing is really good. Now, when you look at this team, while they could position swap onto Ludovic, we can actually lay this one out so that you can see it over here. They could try to Rainier position swap Ludovic. They could jump onto Ludovic with Sylvina, but that doesn't really matter. Ludovic is unaffected at the beginning of the match, so like he's not going to get swapped. He's still going to heal the team. You just want to have the other heroes who are controllable not on these two tiles, because then Rainier can do some shenanigans with them. So basically here we have it. Nero is going to be here because Nero Mythic Plus or above is going to take a Lily May interruption, because he's going to instantly cast his ultimate. That's why he's on the team. That's the really only reason he's on the team. Also, we have 4 Graveborn heroes, so we get a nicer factional advantage. And then also, he can also give some more survival to the Pandora. Daimon is going to be our tank. He is going to be buffing up Shemira further with that attack buff, and then he will tank. And if he's Mythic Plus or above, he can also frighten to delay the enemy. So there we have this basically Shemira Pandora team, which is very solid. It's a common team a lot of people run. But you need to run Nero Mythic Plus or above. Like we said with the Iron team, you're going to have to run Nero with Mythic Plus or above to take that Lily May interruption. Basically, that is important, because otherwise, they'll just have to run Lily May and your Shemira is going to get countered, right? Okay, next up, we have a Tasi dot team. So now we're going into the realm of dot teams, because Pandora teams are definitely good, and they're ultimate relying comps. However, the other strategy you can use on regular arena defense, which is very effective, is dot team, which is damage over time. So you have Bonnie, you have Cyran. They both inflict damage over time, eventually to the entire enemy team. Cyran also has a massive vitality debuff onto the entire enemy team, so they won't be able to heal through your dot damage. You're just going to burn them over time. And then also, they're really ineffective. You're going to have them attack debuff, haste debuff because of Bonnie. So here's another interesting concept of a team with Tasi dot damage. So you're gonna have Daimon is one of your tanks, buffing and protecting the Bonnie. You're going to have Ludovic for healing at the beginning. Cyran and Bonnie are going to apply their basically debuffs to the backline target, and Cyran is just going to spread her sparks onto all of your allies, and then you're just going to be able to dot them over time. So you're going to have the Tasi jumping in. She has magical damage. Daimon has magical damage. That's how you spread these the dots of these two heroes, and then eventually the whole enemy team will be infested, and then you just have Ludovic to try and sustain you, and eventually Tasi ultimate will just wipe out the enemy team. So this is a good idea for a dot type team with Tasi if you want to run it. However, it is using Cyran. Cyran is really important for these dot comps, because if you don't run Cyran, they will be able to out heal your Bonnie dot damage, and that is kind of an issue. So like these teams you really only want to run if you have Cyran, otherwise they're not going to be as effective. And Cyran is a major priority for Paragon upgrades for the A-level maulers. Like really the only A-level mauler which is a Paragon priority is Cyran. She is the #1 priority for Paragon upgrade. Not necessarily the first hero you want on your account. Well, now Odie is kind of completely power equipped. You don't even need to build him. You could rush Cyran as your first hero to be built up. But basically for PvP, she is the best A-level mauler. There's no question about that. Okay, now a better version of this will be an Igor dot damage team. This is going to be better because Igor is just a more effective staller. So, but the thing is, some people will not have Igor and they'll have Tasi highly upgraded. So then Tasi is great to run in these teams, but Igor is even better because Tasi also has that stall factor. She has those invincibilities. She can basically stall out the opponent and then also ult and finish them off. But Igor is also going to be very effective in a team like this because Igor will just tank. He'll put up all of his tombstones. He'll keep jumping around. And then the enemy is just gonna tick damage to their death because Cyran and Bonnie debuffs will be on all of them. You also have Daimon here for some more crowd control with this Frighten with Mythic Plus or above, and then also he just has high damage. And you have Nero who's going to be firing off and spreading the debuffs really rapidly. Nero is basically the best hero for spreading Bonnie and Cyran debuffs. The reason for that, and actually when we look back at this team positioning, it might be better for you to have the Igor over here, because then if someone tries to go for a Sylvina on one of these two tiles, Sylvina, you don't want her to jump onto your Bonnie or Cyran because that can actually deny them from casting their abilities. So I would probably have the Igor here actually, and even if the opponent tries to go for Rainier, Igor is unaffected at the beginning of the battle, so Rainier will not even position swap onto the Igor, so probably it's just better to have it like this, more condensed formation. But anyway, so you're going to have Confining Spell for crowd control, you're going to have Bonnie and Cyran debuffs, you're going to have Nero to spread the debuffs very rapidly, and then you also have Daimon for more crowd control with this Frighten, and this is going to tick, they're going to die over time. Now, if you didn't want to go for a hero like Daimon, Ludovic is also really good. Ludovic is going to be great in a team like this, and he can sustain the team, in which case I would probably go for maybe a positioning like this. Ludovic is fine here because he cannot be position swapped, and then he'll just be healing. Oh, but also you want to have him heal Bonnie and Nero together, so probably better in a positioning like this. So basically, this is another team option you can definitely run, and will be pretty effective as well. Okay, so that is for the dot comps. Next up, we have Thador Cyran. So Thador Cyran is one of the synergies which is very strong in PvP, because Thador will give 350 energy to Cyran. Cyran already begins with 600 energy, so just a couple seconds into the match, Cyran is going to cast his ultimate, and that's massive crowd control and massive damage. So you can go for a comp like this, Ravion buffing up Lily May and Cyran in the back. This is the only team I'm running in Lightning Spell, because that gives another growth stack to Lily May, because it's a temporary stat buff. So like, this is one team you could go for, just because it's more of a nuking comp, quick kill comp, so you can go for in Lightning Spell onto Lily May. Ravion's also going to buff Lily May and Cyran. And then you have Iron. We're running Iron because, number one, you're going to get 4 Wilders for nice factional synergy, but also he's going to take a Lily May interruption, because if the enemy has Lily May, they'll interrupt the Iron, and Cyran will be free to cast his ultimate, because that's what you really want. Thador Cyran or Thador Shakir, these Thador instant ulting type comps, you need to have another hero again to take the Lily May interruption. Otherwise, they just have to run Lily May and they're going to counter your basic high damage output. So that's why we have Iron here, and this is going to be very strong. Like, Lily May Cyran is a really strong combo, especially with Ravion buffing them, and so this is definitely a good team I can definitely recommend that players can run. Okay, and now we have some of the pay-to-win teams. So first, I'm going to show you my team. So this is my defense. Now, this is the defense which has done the best for me. My rank 1, who is my guild leader, he's crowned every single meta hero, or like a Paragon 4 or crowned every single meta hero, even Alicet. And this was the defense which he struggled the most clearing. Even now, he doesn't have a 100% consistent way of clearing this team. So this is the one I'm running. And he's actually running the same team. He's running the same defense, because, I mean, that also shows to me that, okay, maybe this defense is actually a really good option. So what you have here is, we can actually lay it out. So you can see Dunlingr's Bell is going to be onto Athalia. So Athalia will freely cast her ultimate, and that is a lot of damage output. Ravion is going to buff up Kulu and Athalia to further increase the damage. Saida is going to give a shield to Kulu and Ravion, who are maybe the most susceptible to dying. And Saida's up front, she's going to tank, and she's just going to try to eventually to stall out the opponent by planting her drain seeds after the bell wears off. But for the duration of the bell, you're just going to have those 2 initial seeds onto Ravion and Kulu, but that is more than enough. And then you have Confining Spell just to delay the opponent more. And Kulu, she gives a range defense buff to all of my allies and puts up a wall, which can be good against melee comps. So basically, that is what we have here. It's a very stall-oriented team, pay-to-win team. Now, an alternative of this, which I tried to put together, which is going to be a budget Athalia version, is almost the same, using other key heroes which have done very well for me. So, Igor can take the place of Saida. Igor is basically the free-to-play version of Saida, because they both have great stall potential, and actually Igor can plant his tombstones. If the enemy doesn't have like a Nero or some hero to destroy your tombstones, Igor can be even more annoying to deal with than Saida. But you have to run in these comps, so Athalia does really well with Igor, because you want someone who is going to remain on the battlefield and allow Athalia to keep casting her ultimate, keep bouncing around dealing damage, because even after Athalia dies, she is going to enter her Spirit Lance form, and she's still able to deal damage as long as they're surviving allies. And that is why either Saida or Igor are the best allies for Athalia, because they're gonna live on the battlefield for a long duration, allow Athalia to keep getting off more value. And then we have Daimon further buffing up the attack of Athalia. We have Ravion further buffing up the attack of Athalia, and also Daimon here, because he's the second best option. And then we have Confining Spell for like a long drawn out fight. Dunlingr is really important in these comps. So you might be thinking, can you run this comp if you don't have Dunlingr and you only have Athalia? You can, but you're going to be susceptible to Cryonaya. Like, let's say you remove Dunlingr. The problem here is every hero here is weak to Cryonaya. Like, the Lifesaver Shields of Ravion are not going to activate if Cryonaya turns your heroes into ice sculptures. Igor is going to be complete food for Cryonaya if she can get an ult off on him. And even Athalia, she will not turn into Spirit Lance form if Cryonaya gets an ult off. So that's why if you're going to run a team like this, is really preferred to have Dunlingr. Otherwise, if you want to run an Athalia team without Dunlingr, you want to go for more of a quick nuking comp, like that Thador Cyran team that we saw. If we go back to that Thador Cyran team, if you wanted to run an Athalia team, you could just, for example, replace Lily May with Athalia. That would be a good option. Or even replace Iron with Athalia. However, if you replace Iron with Athalia, the problem is the opponent will just have to run a Lily May of their own, and they're gonna interrupt your Cyran. But basically, you want like some crowd control, grouping them all up together, and Athalia can nuke them. And so definitely, like, this team would work well with Athalia. But of course, it will be countered to Dunlingr. So there's always going to be counters for all of these teams. But if you're going to talk about the most pay-to-win team like this one, this has the least counters because your Dunlingr protects against Cryonia. You have insane damage output from Athalia with Ravion buff right from the beginning of the match. You have Kulu for defensiveness, and then you have Stall Factor with Saida. So this is very annoying to deal with. This is very tough, honestly, for people to deal with. But I can just quickly show you some replays of what my guild leader has used to beat me. But these same teams that he's used to beat me, he has also lost with them. Like you see over here, we have some defense successfuls on like kind of the same team, but then sometimes it will also work and get the clear. So he's running like Aliceth, Ravion, all crowned, very similar to my team, but he's running Aliceth rather than my Kulu. And it's just madness. Like, you look at it here, and it kind of does the thing. I mean, Aliceth is pretty good against Saida and these kind of Strollish oriented teams, because then Aliceth is freely able to get off her ultimate and get off a lot of damage. But if you look at the same team, we got a win here as well, and I think it was almost the same formation as well. We got a win, so there's still RNG to it, right? Because with all of this protection, they can't really consistently clear a comp like this. And then it comes down to Saida Athalia versus Saida Athalia in the end. Anyway, guys, hopefully these teams are helpful. Of course, this is just the beginning. There are so many different mix and matches you can do for teams, but these are the core team strategies to think about in regular arena, and then you can use your upgraded heroes in them. Like, and you feel free to experiment as well. Like, you can try any one of these teams. If it's not working very well for you, try something else. Try swapping one hero for a different hero. That's how the meta basically evolves, and it really comes down to your individual account, which heroes you have upgraded, what do you have at your basically which you're like, if you have a Paragon 3 Tasi, but you have like a Legendary plus Igor, of course you want to run Tasi in a Bonnie dot comp rather than Igor. So basically you just fit things to the heroes you have upgrade on your account. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this one. If there's any other team that is working well for you in regular arena, feel free to share that in the comment section. I hope this was helpful. I wanted to make this video for a long time. A lot of people have requested it, but at the same time, it was a daunting task for me, because as you guys see, we shared a lot of teams, and that's just scratching the surface. There's so many other teams you can think about running in regular arena, and it really comes down to exactly what are the most upgraded heroes on your account, and then also trial and error. But I hope we did kind of justice to this. So anyway, guys, if you're not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, please join that. There's a link to that in the description of this video. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Firelight store. There is a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.